everyone. Guess who's back? It's the commish back here with another LOC recap. And this time we're going to start off with Dynasty. As you can see, we have now only five undefeated teams. So two in the mixed bag division, one in the Canadian, one in the American, and one in the international. And you can see the American division leader is the top scoring team. And that, of course, is no more with almost 600 points. Cowichan Chicken Turtles, which happened to be a favorite for this year's Hugh Jackson Award, is proving himself in Dynasty that he's nowhere going to win that award at all. So we'll see if that happens. And then you can see Clengy and Golden Knights are actually tied with the same amount of points at third there. I've never seen that before through two games. Looking at your one-and-one teams, Mother Tucker bounced back. There's no doubt about that. Watching the international division, I went to bed thinking two other teams were going to win. No, woke up to the other two other teams win. So, that's but Finito at 1-1. Swahino is the one that lost. Sabatica down to 0-2. Your lowest scoring teams right now happen to be Deuce Bombers. He's having a horrible LOC start this year. Last place here in Dynasty and not doing so well in Tier 1 as well when we get there. You can see Forever Rebuild, another American roster, not doing well. And then, of course, Subotica Spartans, there's your division winners. Some close games for sure. Like I say, mostly in the international. Clengy wins a tight one over Swahino. That was fun to watch. Finito over Subotica Spartans. The other games were pretty much out of reach. Memphis Devil Dogs had a somewhat of a close one with the Golden Knights, but it was never really out of reach. Looking forward to week 3. And of course, the game of the week polls will be coming up, folks. Some big ones coming up. Living Dead versus Golden Knights. Both teams 2-0, fighting for first in the mixed bag division. So that'll be a fun one, obviously, to probably vote on or look at. And of course, the international division, it's always super tight. Couple games there. Finito, Clengy, Swahino, Subotica Spartans. Those teams have been fighting each other hard this year. And then another one that I think might be pretty good as well in the Canadian division, two teams 1-1, the Age Crew and the Mother Tucker. That could also be another one that could be featured on the game of the week. So just stay tuned. Heck of a week too, and loving what Dynasty's doing this year. All right, folks. So now we get to Tier 3, and when we look at Tier 3, we're down to three teams, or a quarter of the teams that are 3-0. Myself, my wife is hotter, and Bree and Center Tiger 21, a Tier 3 veteran. Happy to see her having some success. Your top scoring team, though, is not one of the 2-0 teams. It's actually my man Throwbacks 567.30. Loving what this guy can bring. And I think he's going to be a team to watch out for, to be honest. Second is myself. My wife is hotter, is right there. The worst team in the format is still the worst team in the format from last week, and that's Ooh Spicy. Not a good start to his Tier 3 career, 434.62. You can see that's well below the next lowest scoring team, and that's Cannonball 007. Eat a Bag of Nicks, of course, had a tough draft pick scenario coming in. Actually had a tough game with Eat a Bag of Nicks this week, but he found a way to get the W. You can see there's only three teams left that are 0-2. OK Nose is another one, and OK Nose is the only team that I don't know his first name. Some tight games this week. Center Tiger beating Cannonballs by only 10. I beat Eat Bag of Nicks by 11, so those were pretty tight. And then my wife was hotter, only won by 9 over Black Dog. So there was a lot of games decided by about 10 points, which just goes to show you how competitive this tiered format and the scoring system can be. And really looking forward to week 3 as we round out the rest of the divisional matchups. All right, now we get into Tier 2, and reviewing Tier 2, really the game of the week was myself, Johnny 8 Balls versus Purple Unis, and what a game it was. I put up 322 almost, and Unis put up 310. So, I mean, talk about having to put up a huge week to beat, Unis. And you can see Purple Unis 1-1, already 604.19 points, averaging more than 300 points a game. It's going to be tough to beat Purple Unis this year. You can see I'm second at 588, and then the next closest scoring team is Scottish Highlanders at 525. Just to put it into perspective, Purple Unis and Johnny Eight Balls both in that CDN Division One, so that's going to be a tough division to get out of with those two teams there. You can see we have five 2-0 teams left, next door neighbors doing the bad neighbor job on morning Chuba and took him out late and knocked Justin down to 0-2. You can see there is five teams at 0-2. And again, you don't want to be in that 0-2 bracket because, of course, remember, you can drop back down to tier three, which obviously I'm sure a lot of you teams do not want to do. The lowest scoring team, though, is Biscuits and Gravy. And I know, Jeff, you've had a ton of injuries this year, and you better get it sorted out quick. Because if some of these 0-2 teams start winning, that could put you in a precarious position. Mr. Irrelevant proved himself to be a little bit more active this week, so I was happy to see that. I do appreciate you, Mr. Irrelevant, for getting the message and fixing your team. And then you can see Bishop Sycamore is the other lowest scoring team there. But, lots going on. In terms of close games, other than next door neighbors and Morning Chuba, which was decided pretty late, um, and end the game of the week, I think. There really wasn't any close games. We're going to round up the rest of our divisional matchups for tier two. So, when I look at the matchups that are happening next week, I would say the biggest matchup probably, and of course, we were going to be voting on the game of the week, but there are two 2-0 teams meeting next week. It's going to be Amber and next door neighbors taking on Scottish Highlanders. I think that's going to be a instant classic in terms of where things sit right now currently, especially since those two teams are in the American Division Two division, so that will be for the outright lead in the division. So I'm sure that's one that everyone's probably going to have their eye on. Not telling people who to vote for the game of the week, but that definitely looks like it's going to be a good one. All right, folks. So lastly, we've hit the League of Champions here, and yeah, interesting week. Obviously, we've seen a lot of injuries affect teams, including myself, and it's just part of the game. It is what it is. Next man up. We still have a few 2-0 teams, obviously left, and we actually have seven 2-0 teams still left in this. Through 2 weeks. And, I think that's a fair amount. And it just goes to show that, it's going to be a competitive year. A couple teams I'm surprised at 2-0. Mother Tucker being one, Fighting Geese, another for sure. Maybe even Sabatica Spartans, Dushan, they didn't project you with a very good record. I did say things had changed a bit, but you're definitely looking really strong this year as well. Finito, obviously, Brian in the 12th man. So lots of good teams there. Top scoring team is the 12th man. Did you bust out for over 300, Brian? Almost 300, 298.12 on the week. So obviously putting up big numbers and 30 points ahead of Kalenji already. Finito, obviously, third in scoring. So the international division showing their mettle. It's interesting, right? Because Kalenji, second top scoring team in the format, took the Grace. Mother Tucker and Sky Blue Army, 2-0, both took the Grace. So we're going to see some flip-flopping, I think, because some of these Grace teams, I can't see them really going all in this year because there's no point. You're not going to get any prize. So that's for if anyone's watching this from the other tiers and you get to tier one, think twice about taking the Grace. I mean, sometimes you want to take the Grace, you feel, because you got to rebuild this team, but you can see there's obviously, yeah, a few teams here that took the Grace that are doing quite well. 0-2 teams, and of course, why is that important? Because those are the teams that could drop. Two teams in that bracket are retired, and that's the Age Crew and BC Lions. But you can see by lowest scoring teams, Age Crew isn't in that bracket. BC Lions is, so that will save a lot of teams if BC Lions is the team that actually ends up finishing last because none of the active teams would drop. But the six is in a precarious position. 363.31, as well as Sueño. So two LOC veterans there in a tough spot right now at 0-2. And obviously, they're hoping that the BC Lions can continue to struggle because otherwise, that could create problems in terms of dropping. Looking at the games of the week potential next week, lots going on. There's a lot of 1-1 versus 0-2 is one matchup that sticks out to me for sure in the international division. Finito at 2-0 versus Sabatica at 2-0. That's going to be for the outright lead in the international. So I think that's definitely going to be one to watch. Other than that, there's a few 0-2s versus 1-1. So I'll definitely come up with some other games for the game of the week. It might be more of teams that are a little bit desperate. Like I'm looking at one right now. I got Too Good for a Name versus BC Lions at 0-2. So obviously one of those teams is going to get their first win. So that's going to be probably another one to pay attention to. Because if Too Good somehow lost that game and BC Lions gets the win, well, that's going to create a lot of scary situations for active owners who could potentially drop. So it's been a hell of a first couple of weeks. Injuries have just been insane to watch, and I'm just really looking forward to see what happens. The 12th man is in a very good position now. It's interesting because I don't know if Brian has intentions of going all in this year or not. Earlier in the year when I talked to him, he said he was not, but maybe things have changed. Anyways, it's been a heck of a year. I hope you guys are enjoying it. This is this week's recap.